What's happening, financial coaches? It's Pete here. Want to address a comment I see a lot. So, a lot of people will ask about debt management and debt consolidation programs. I've talked about debt management a lot. I'm generally a fan of it for the people that are right for it, people with a lot of debt that don't know what else to do, that have exhausted other options, and they want to get on a systematic 5-year plan. So, that's debt management and consolidation. So, consolidation can also just involve, hey, consolidating it into a program. But one of the criticisms about debt management consolidation through a debt management company, which is usually debt counseling first into a debt management program, and then a payment that exists for 5 years to exhaust that debt, is that people say the problem is it doesn't solve the behavior and it just allows them to add on debt. So I'm not exactly sure what they mean by this, but I see it over and over. Yes, we want to address the behavioral part of it. That's what we do as financial coaches. We want to figure out what we can do and increase the healthy habits and decrease the unhealthy habits, the things that got people into that situation, whether it's spending or medical bill or whatever it might be. Those are things that are under our control or generally supposed to be under our control. So we're supposed to be working with people on this. I've had a number of clients who I've recommended to go to a debt counseling agency and get into a management program, and they do that, and we continue to meet because underlying they have a shopping problem or a spending problem or whatever it might be. And so I'm trying to add on my services to augment whatever help they're getting, say from a therapist or a psychologist or a financial advisor or whatever. But generally, if you go through an official debt management company that consolidates that debt into a single payment, they can't add on to the debt. A requirement, or there's really two requirements, is that one, all of those lines of credits, all of those credit cards, those personal loans, those loans have to be closed. So that is part of the arrangement that the debt management company has, is to say, hey, American Express, we will make these payments to you, but we know it's not going to go up because that line of credit has to be closed. So they can't charge anything to it. The other thing is you might say, Pete, then they go out and get a new credit card. Okay, that's possible. It's fundamentally and logistically possible, but there are two issues with this. One is often if you're doing this, the credit is usually in some disrepair. The credit score has usually taken a hit. You are usually doing this as something as a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th option because you have done all the other things. Generally, when that happens, your credit score is usually 100 points lower than a comparable peer. And so getting a new credit card so that you can continue that spending is not necessarily easy. It's not impossible, certainly not impossible, but it's not easy. The other thing that I want to throw out here is that almost always, I've never seen an exception to this, that the requirement of participating in the debt management consolidation program means that you cannot open new lines of credit. Like I said, it's like taking away someone's driver's license saying, hey, you don't have a driver's license now, you are not allowed to drive. That doesn't mean that you physically can't open the car door, get in, turn the key, and drive. It does not mean that it's in your contract that you can't find some secured credit card or secured line of credit or kind of a small line of credit card or something like that and apply for it and get it, right? This is not a perfect system, but it is usually one against policy that they can end your debt management program. So if it's worth it, if it's worth getting a credit card with a $500 limit so that you can spend and not have your $140,000 of consolidated debt at a really attractive interest rate, then maybe you want to take that risk. I usually tell people, hey, if you go on and get that credit card, because you just got to have something on an emergency, well, just understand that they can kick you out of that program. But practically, it can also be difficult. So I know a lot of people say, I don't like those programs because it doesn't address the underlying behavioral issue and they just rack up more debt. It's just practically not that easy. It's not that easy in an official program. So that's what I wanted to mention, that debt management companies, organizations that do that have those requirements usually on them. So thought that might help, but as coaches, we should help them with the underlying value system and decision-making and behavior change. I'll see you later.